All this summer, we are helping you narrow down your choices for some great weekend getaways. We're talking about places that require a minimum amount of time in the car and maximum fun. This week, reporter Matt Hamill takes us road tripping to Milwaukee.
In the middle of Lake Michigan, you would expect to find some huge sailing ships, but it's actually when you come ashore that you find the most incredible. Welcome to the Milwaukee Art Museum. The architecture alone draws thousands on board to watch the rising sun light this magnificent space. Adorned by a giant Chihuly glass sculpture, the entire museum is a work of art.
I've heard people describe it as inside of a whale with ribs and bones. I've heard people describe it as a beautiful bird taking flight, and it was named by virtual tourists as the sexiest building in the world.
Kristen Settles says it's those wings that make people stop and stare.
We're world famous for them, and they open and close 3 times a day. So they open at 10 a.m. when we open, they flap at noon, and then they close at 5 p.m. when we close for the day.
But when you begin to explore, this bird soars with 30,000 pieces of some of the finest art in the world. Pablo Picasso's Cock of the Liberation is one of more than a dozen works by the famous Spaniard. The Kiss, the priceless sculpture by the master Rodin, is here. Also, one of the largest collections in the country of vibrant Southwest art from Georgia O'Keeffe. There are impressionist works by Claude Monet and one of the most iconic images ever, the Campbell Soup series by an artist who earned much more than 15 minutes of fame, Andy Warhol. Huge crowds admire the strokes of genius, while others are inspired to be future architects and maybe the next O'Keeffe. One of the highlights of the year just opened last week. Vasily Kandinsky was a key figure in modern art, and his retrospective makes its only Midwest stop in Milwaukee.
So we are bringing 100 works from the Centre Pompidou into the museum, and they are some of Kandinsky's most intimate works. They are the ones that his widow Nina donated to the Pompidou in memory of him.
It is just part of an incredible summer for guests at the Milwaukee Museum, where you may want to mark your calendar for the Lakefront Festival of Art later this month.
We have bands, we have live music, we have dance performances, we have wine vendors and food vendors, and there's a whole slew of family and children's activities as well. It's also the Milwaukee Air and Water Show that same weekend as well, June 20th to the 22nd.
Between the special exhibits and iconic regulars, it is a ship that takes you on a fantastic voyage. We will put a link to all the information about the Art Museum on our website. For now, we are road tripping in Milwaukee. I'm Matt Hamill.